Peace to your feet, we bringing the news. Facts stay sharp, yeah, we never confused. From the streets to the world, get the real, no cap. Breaking headlines, put the truth on the map.
Yeah, fast with the facts, we don't play no games. Report on what's real, we ain't chasing fame. Call Peace TV, stay locked, stay tuned. If you want the real talk, we deliver it soon. Call Peace TV, we bringing the news. Facts stay sharp, yeah, we never confused. From the
Hey. Back with another video. This video is about our girl Nazaya Harris, of course. In this video, I'm going to be playing part of the testimony of the detective on the stand. And the reason I'm playing this is because this just don't make a lick of damn sense to me. The reason why, like how they test some things and some things they didn't test. She's going to state that she tested the hoodie, I believe, but she didn't test the shoes because by testing the hoodie, and if anything came back with a hit of DNA from Nazaya, then that means the shoes is her shoes as well. And all this, it don't make sense. I thought when you do, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought when you doing an investigation, when you find evidence that you test everything one by one. I don't know, is this something that I'm missing? But it's a lot of stuff that they did wrong that I feel like that they did wrong. And in the long run, it's going to come back to bite them in the ass. But y'all watch it and y'all give me y'all input on it.
Ready? Okay, we're back on the record. This is case 2459617, the people of State of Michigan versus Jarvis Butts. We left off right before Mr. Riggins was getting ready to begin cross-examination of Sergeant Jones. Sergeant Jones, you are still under oath, and once you get seated, Mr. Riggins, you can begin cross-examination.
So you're the OIC on this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
When were you first designated as the OIC on this case?
It would have been, I believe, the 15th or 16th of February.
Okay. And what are your duties as OIC on this case?
The OIC begins with the preliminary investigation overlooking the case. On a missing person case, we're obviously making contact with family and getting some witness interviews. We also prep a warrant request that's submitted to the prosecutor.
Okay. So you're responsible for collecting evidence?
Yes.
And you're responsible for coordinating the evidence?
Correct.
Okay. You conduct interviews, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, you conducted several interviews in this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You submit evidence for testing, correct?
Pardon me?
You submit evidence for testing?
Yes, I have.
Okay. You are aware that Mr. Butts has quite a few girlfriends, correct?
Correct.
All right. And from the very beginning of this case, you suspected, from your beginning of the case, you suspected Jarvis Butts had something to do with Nazaya being missing, correct?
Well, when we were discussing the case on the first day, February 12th, DPS had told us the last person that they had contact with and they identified as Jarvis Butts. And then on February 15th, when we verified that Nazaya was in fact with him and Cordell on the ride out to Ypsilanti, which is the last day that she was seen, then he became the primary suspect.
Okay. And from the beginning, you didn't suspect this was a missing person case, correct?
Well, she's missing. It's been a missing person case. I don't understand your question, I guess.
So you suspect that she was deceased, correct?
I didn't expect that she's deceased from day one. It takes a lot of investigation before you can come to that conclusion.
Okay.
It's not going to be one of those right away. You have to rule out every other possibility.
All right. Didn't you tell Shannon Harris in her interview on the 15th that this is not a missing person case at this point?
I believe I told her that it was not being handled by DPS as a missing person case at that point, and that it's being handled at Detroit Police Homicide Missing Persons.
So you didn't tell her that this was not a missing person case? We're no longer looking for a missing person?
I don't believe that would have been my exact wording.
Okay.
On February 15th?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't believe that would have been my wording, that I would have already come to some conclusion that she was deceased on the 15th.
Okay.
So this is mind-boggling too, because she says that they got the case February 12th. And the attorney is saying that within 3 days, they classified Nazia's case as a homicide, that she's no longer here with us. And how is that even possible? Like, you couldn't have possibly did enough investigation and stuff for that to even be the case. Not even that, just what she said was when they realized that Jarvis was the last person to see her going to Ypsilanti with them. But Jarvis is the only one being accused of unaliving her and not King. He's the only one being a suspect. I'm trying to understand why wouldn't both of them become a suspect if they were the last two people to see her alive. You guys, I'm doing this video because I want feedback from you guys. These things that I have issues with and questions about. I'm wondering if it's more of you guys that feel the same way as I do with some of these things that's being said.
You also testified that you found several knives in one of the vehicles, correct?
Correct.
All right. Did you test the knives? I know you tested at least one knife for
Yes.
for DNA. Did you test the other knives for DNA?
The other knives were not tested, no.
Okay. And did you test any of the knives for blood?
I believe we had all the knives swabbed, and then nothing came back leading anything to be blood, but we submitted it on the knife that was up near the driver's seat. The other knives, one was like a butter knife. Another one was like a smaller kitchen knife, but it was like under the back seat. It looked old and crusty, like it hadn't been up there. So the knife that was at the closest access, that looked to be not stored in the truck for a very long time, as opposed to the other ones, were the ones that we had swabbed and tested.
Even that part about the knives, like, why not submit everything? If you found it in the car, why submit one and not the other one? Even though you're saying it looks like the knives have been in the car for a long time, they look old and things like that. That doesn't mean that that couldn't have been used to do something to Nazia. Like, a lot of this just don't make sense to me. But let's keep it going.
And tested. And then additionally, they were tested with Blue Star. So the knife that reacted to anything that maybe Blue Star reacted to, that was specific why that knife was submitted.
Okay. So there was no blood found on that knife, correct?
Correct.
So there was testimony about a black hoodie that was found, correct?
Yes.
Did you personally examine this hoodie?
I did not touch it. It was there. I was there as I observed it being opened up by the evidence technician who was collecting it, as well as re-going through the photos while we were there and then after.
All right. So the hoodie looked weathered, did it not?
It was wet.
It was wet. There were spider webs in it, correct?
I didn't open it to manipulate it, so if there was something that maybe the evidence tech testified to seeing, I wasn't right there as it was being opened, so I couldn't answer. I did not see a spider web. I can't say that there was not one.
Okay. Did you see any other debris on this hoodie?
So again, the hoodie is wet.
Okay.
A lot of times when articles of clothing are wet, it's hard to distinguish whether there's any other type of stains on there. We're not out there manipulating clothing like that. We preserve it the best that we can. That way, if there is something, it can be properly examined inside a laboratory.
In black shoes, gym shoes, correct?
Yes.
Were they tested for DNA?
No.
Okay. And you seized several cars in this investigation, correct?
Throughout the investigation, yes.
Okay. You had a cadaver dog pass through the cars, correct?
Correct.
Did the cadaver dog give you a hit on any car?
No.
Okay.
Answers on whether that was Nazia's hoodie or not, those were the items that were submitted. Once that hoodie came back that it was hers, there was no need for me to test the shoes that I had a picture of her wearing, because I knew that that hoodie was going to be showing that that was her belongings.
Now, as it relates to guns specifically, if you're trying to connect a gun to a homicide, would you need something to compare it to?
Yes,
Okay, and was there was no body found in this case, that's correct?
correct. You would either need a projectile that you may recover or find at a scene, or the actual spent casing.
And there was none of that able to be found, correct?
Correct.
And your history in your police work?
For 11 years, yes.
Okay. Now, a cadaver dog would only hit if they're in a vehicle if there was a dead body in that vehicle. Is that correct?
They'll hit on blood, or if there was like biological from somebody that's deceased, something.
So if a body was in a car that was not yet deceased, that cadaver dog presumably would not hit.
Correct.
And you got this investigation in February around the 14th or 15th?
Yes.
Okay, and when was that knife found in Mr. Butt's car?
After we impounded the car, then they did the inventory, the evidence search. It would have been probably a week or so later, and then it's reviewed when I get to that, and then submitted.
Okay, so that would have put almost a month and a half, almost 2 months away from January 9, 2024.
Yes.
Nothing further, Judge.
Maybe not as a shooting, maybe as just a blunt force instrument. Or if it was or if it was a close range shot, couldn't blood or skin cells be on the gun?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Ms. Brickley, any last questions?
No, Judge, thank you.
So then we go here to listen to what Roxy had to say. I just randomly went to her page, seeing that she posted some things. She also did a video. It's a video posted on her page that she shared. I'm thinking she went to Ypsilanti and did a search just recently. So I'll bring that back to you guys later today. But let's check out what Roxy has to say, because this last one that's going to show is her saying, when them tables turns and the lies come out, or something like that. Wonder who she was talking about. But let's get into it.
Hello, Miss Harvey. This is a really good question. You said, since they haven't found her body, do I think that they have her put up somewhere where she could deliver the child and be taken care of? No. I don't. In the beginning, when I first got to Detroit, in February of 2024, I did think that that was a possibility. I was hoping that that could be a possibility, considering the fact of how many kids all them got, right? But no, I don't think that she is put up anywhere. I don't think that She had the baby. No, she is gone. Meaning unalived, gone. As well as her unborn child. The prosecution has already stated that they have an overwhelming amount of evidence to be able to prove that she is unalive. So, no. I don't think that they have her put up somewhere, and I don't think that the child is being taken care of. I believe that Naziah Harris and her unborn child are both deceased. Thank you for your question.
When them tables turn, don't lose your appetite. You better eat that shit like I did. The fuck?
TV, we bringing the news. Facts stay sharp, yeah, we never confuse. From the streets to the world, keep it real, no cap. You're breaking headlines, put the truth on the map. Call it peace. TV, we bringing the news. Facts stay sharp, yeah, we never confuse.